What up, Naughty Steppers? Connor Whitmore here again with another review for you on the Nawtystep channel. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about the new compilation from Disciple Records, Alliance Volume 5. This is the latest annual compilation from one of the biggest labels in modern dubstep, Disciple Records. A series that's grown over the years from 4 and 5 track compilations to 10 plus, starting with last year's Volume 4. I suppose Disciple's way of providing their Never Say Die equivalent to lock fans in even more to what they're doing. Despite Volume 5 coming in at only 10 tracks as opposed to Volume 4's 16, they seem here to have taken the compilation concept to another level. Not only having all of their main roster on show, but having the entire LP consist solely of collaborations. A load of awesome ideas on paper, some of which I couldn't quite believe on my first inspection of the track listing. But which left me very excited as to how said styles would combine, putting musicians from completely different ends of the dubstep and trap spectrum together. Culminating in, of course, another Mega Collab and follow-up to last year's Get Lemon, so all in all, a great idea on paper. But does the execution match the ambition? Well, you're about to find out in this review. 10 tunes, 18 musicians involved, gonna go through each track one by one, react to a couple of them, before arriving at some concluding thoughts about the LP to finish. And first up we have Virtual Riot and Infect with Das Riddim. My word, what a way to start this compilation. This collaboration is fantastic from beginning to end. The introduction is brilliant, dark and dramatic, then earthy and intricate. The vocal sample is also excellent. The riddim drops are so good. Jumpy, well articulated and defined, fresh, chunky, so many ideas firing at you, and it's really aware of its progression and when to switch things up. All the sounds playing off each other so well. It's got good flows, there's variety in note placement and delivery, and such a diverse usage of sound as well. All around and front to back, it's just so fucking good. The whole second drop being a kind of mad mutation of the first, and that German ending is jokes as well. But for me, this is what a collaboration between two musicians from completely different spheres within a specific type of music should sound like. They really performed on this one, and when I was listening to this LP for the first time, I was just like, well, how is everyone else gonna follow this up?
What did you say your name was?
Following on from there, we have 12th Planet and Bandlez with Rubber Band Boys. Clear here once more the two styles are working together well, again pretty much from start to finish. Some parts are more overtly 12, the build vocal sample combination for example, is something that I think we've seen a lot from him in the last few years or so, but then the drops, the synths especially, seem more like Bandlez for the most part. It's decent Briddim-like production, couple of nice touches in there, but nothing truly extraordinary in my opinion. The double drop is initially savage. I love that first impact and force that we get from that drop. That section keeps up the intensity well, but perhaps goes on for a little too long. The fake out for the second drop is probably my favourite moment on the track. Really refreshing, I think, within the context of the song. But then the outro takes the track down a bit of a weird turn, meaning that it finishes on a slightly sour note. But overall, it's Bandlez sounds with that huge 12th Planet backdrop, which makes for a good combo in my opinion, just never truly takes off. After that, we have Dirtyphonics and Samplifier with In Your Skull. Really enjoying the grand, thrilling, cinematic introduction here. Builds really well actually. Not perfect on the execution, but definitely perfect in length. It's like the energy of Dirtyphonics with the industrial, clanging, sinewy sounds of Samplifier. Quite interesting as a blend, and one that I'm surprised hasn't happened before actually. Not blowing me away on an ideas level, but sonically it's really there. The guttural progressions in particular really get to me, kind of sit in the lower part of my body and embed themselves there. Some really nice moments where everything blends together really well, properly full on. That second drop is pretty filthy and really works as a switch up within the context of the song. Just needs a little bit more musicality to maybe take it to another level here, but some really good moments in there, I cannot lie. Then we have Barely Alive and Fox Stevenson with Here We Go. Yet again, another track where the conjoining of styles is so clear. One of those classic Barely Alive arcade-like disco openings, really sweet. but perhaps too quick into the build in my opinion, and I would have loved a Fox vocal in there. I have to say it, but his voice would have run so well over that section. Really feeling the musicality of the dubstep here though, very pure, genuine mesh of their styles. The double drop is absolute filth, a nice fake out and then wave after wave of huge sound, some fantastic stuff in there. The latter third with that second main drop is explosive, brimming with life, so much flavour and feeling to it, chill-inducing even though the sounds and the overall aesthetic is so heavy. And again, a very true and real mix of styles, just did need a Fox vocal to top it off. That really would have been the icing on the cake to a fantastic track. Following on from there, we have Modestep and Murdock with Old School. Definitely one of the more eyebrow-raising collaborations for not quite getting how it would work before checking this LP out. And yeah, for me, I would have to say, now that I have listened to it, it doesn't quite work for me. The percussion in the drops is very thin on the ground. The sounds we get overlaying, a lot of them very nice, and the kind of interplay between them is really good. But that's compromised because of that percussion, which is so flat. It's skeletal, not beefed up quite enough. As well as that, there are moments where the execution isn't quite there. The transitioning from section to section, a little bit off. I really like those folding in and out moments in the introduction, and the lead into the second drop I find actually really good. But again, that drop doesn't quite follow suit in terms of quality, and overall this would potentially be my least favourite of the bunch, considering the high standard that we do get elsewhere. The moments that are meant to be felt most here just aren't really. Needs thickening and beefing up generally, so yeah, Old School not quite for me. Then we have Eliminate and PhaseOne with Turtleneck. The collaboration I think I was probably most surprised by on paper, but that made me more excited for it, I have to say. To my knowledge, you can hear them both working clearly on every drop. Some more effective than others though. The first drop I'm not that massive on, the idea isn't all that, but you can hear their styles together quite clearly. Same with the second drop, which is similar in terms of note for note stuff. The transitions into both as well aren't that fantastic. But the middle drop, the double drop I would have to call it, is truly riveting stuff. A very sharp idea, well executed, neat, visceral, ridiculously well cut, mind-boggling. The intro is also a lovely mix of their styles. So, Turtleneck, not an exceptional tune, but I love the ambition of it. And for me, it's what a collaboration should be, working together with people who are not really doing the same thing as you, and just seeing what happens. After that, we have Dodge and Fuski and Terravita with Gargoyles. Here we have another one of the more underwhelming cuts on the LP for me. The dubstep takes on this very squelchy appeal, becomes a bit overbearing over its course for me. Some nice skittish touches and sounds in there, but it's very noisy and the percussion really isn't that great in the heaviest moments. The introduction I also find very standard, and what's more, it's very, very short at 2 minutes and 8 seconds long. And it kind of makes you wonder how much time they spent putting this song together. And I know Dodge and Fuski have a label to run, but still, if you're going to make a track, I think you would have to give it a bit more substance, you know. Maybe they ran out of people to ask to get involved in the compilation. But this one, Gargoyles, it strikes me as more of a filler than anything substantial. After that, we have Myro and Oliverse with Never Know. The collaboration I think I was most hopeful for. Fantastic pairing this one. Two melodic wobble masters. For a lot of it, this is more evidence that euphoric dubstep is the way forward once again. Lovely dynamic and relationship between the vocal and the instrumental running through the build, and actually throughout pretty much the whole song. The old school wobbles in a quick pace, I absolutely love it. Some great musicality in there as well. Definitely moments where there's a little bit too much going on, not enough patience in the construction, more cohesion needed with the ideas and kind of what they're trying to do, I think needs to shine through a little bit more. But they do get away with that contrast for me, the contrast between doing too much and having enough patience in their construction. Yeah, they get away with that just about. The second drop in particular seems more together ideas-wise, so that is a very good progression and development from what we get before. And the length of this track as well is just brilliant. Pure colour and life, this song, Never Know. Not spectacular, but in many ways exactly what you would wish for from these two. Penultimately, we have Chibs and Virus Syndicate with Problem. This is another really cool collaboration, one that on paper may not work, but which I think really does. Virus Syndicate's lively vocal delivery over that plodding riddim beat, so unusual, but it's so jokes, I really do love it. Chibs' music is so far removed from this, you know, he's not usually about huge builds and drops, which is what Virus Syndicate mostly rap over. So it's an interesting listen that I think I'm getting more and more out of as I listen to it again and again, kind of appreciating it more each time I check it out. Some very sharp, neat lyrics here from Virus Syndicate across the board. By this point, I mean they are just delivering on every tune. I think that would be hard to deny. The rhythm is very extraterrestrial, alien-like, swampy, and I appreciate the simplicity of it compared to other tracks here. It's compact and confined, and not quite as ostentatious and off the wall, if you will. Perhaps because it's just one producer on the instrumental, but yeah. Overall, looking forward to hearing this one more and more over time. And finally, we have the Mega Collab. It's We Don't Play by Disciple. Now, I wasn't big on the first track of this kind, Get Lemon. Appreciated hearing all of the different styles on show and kind of guessing who did what where. But the song itself wasn't actually that good for me, and more than anything, it was a reminder of how difficult collaborating can be. But this song, oh my days, this is an absolutely massive markup on that track. It's fantastic. It isn't so much a tune of guessing who does what where, but more marvelling over how sick the ideas are and just how on earth they put this one together as a group. Proper show-stopping stuff. Virus Syndicate once again are outstanding, referencing each producer in the lyrics. Introducing each artist at a time before the drops is such a good idea, and they execute it pretty much perfectly. Really threw me the first time I heard it, and is still throwing me now, to be honest. It's just so good. Some of them I prefer more than others, so basically what we have is each producer giving a little snippet of their sound before the next one comes in. My favourites came from Virtual Riot, PhaseOne, Oliverse and Stevenson, but the general concept is just so awesome. Really is a great thing hearing them all together like that. And the drops, I would have to say, are also mad, huge, varied, so many moments of interest and brilliance, it has to be said. The storytelling appeal of it as well, with that hip-hop inspired outro, it doesn't really need another drop, and they end it in the perfect way. Not only the track, but the album overall, it is just a great way to finish it. Really powerful stuff, and is a reminder, opposed to what I said earlier, of how good it can be when people work together. This is the good of collaboration in a nutshell, a truly fantastic construction, another level all round on Get Lemon, and one of my favourite tracks of the year so far, I cannot lie. I really do think it is that good an idea. So yeah, Disciple, We Don't Play, so ambitious, but really they do pull it off. But to finish here, some final thoughts on Alliance Volume 5. I think compilations can get so boring, but for the most part here, I really didn't want it to end. There are a couple of tracks that I'm hardly big on at all, but the general standard really is very good, I think, especially considering that they are collaborations, which can go so wrong. I mean, we all know, if you're working with someone else, you have an idea, they don't like it, they're going to rubbish it, and it's just a constant kind of battle between getting your ideas across and waiting for the other person to do exactly the same thing. So many cases of pushing the boundaries with their ideas, the meshing of styles that are usually from completely different spheres of bass music, and having also the execution to match. Could have been a load of ordinary, half-assed songs, but I think they really have pushed the boat out here. Nice to have a shorter compilation as well, just under 40 minutes, which is great. In many ways also still showcasing exactly what the label is about. I mean, it has pretty much all of the main roster there, barring perhaps a couple. But I think also, lastly, we have to again just think about and appreciate the idea of Alliance Volume 5 in and of itself. So awesome, ambitious, creative. It's what bass music needs to be, and it needs more of it. That real, true collaboration and trying out of different things. And lastly, have to shout out the trailer and the artwork. Both fantastic. Everyone who worked on them, absolute big ups to all of you. That is sensational stuff. I have to say, one of my favourite albums or LPs of this year so far. Couple songs ranking alongside my favourites also. So yeah, Alliance Volume 5, I think it's a big tick for me. And so there we have it, my review of the new compilation from Disciple Records, Alliance Volume 5. I hope you enjoyed it. But what did you guys make of Alliance Volume 5 overall? Do you have a favourite track from the 10? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video to the channel, and my social media accounts are linked in the description box down below. For some other compilation or album or LP reviews on the channel, check out the link next to my head somewhere. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know guys, so be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.